Hi, everyone. This is Jay Rosenzweig, the owner of birthparentfinder.com. And I have on this Zoom call with me, I have my client Joel's birth family. My client Joel was adopted in Indiana, knew nothing about his birth family at all. He took a 23andMe test, and sure enough, Vicky, raise your hand, Vicky. That's Joel's birth mother. She took a DNA test with 23andMe. Daughter Rhiannon, raise your hand. She took a test. Corey, I see you there. You took a test, and you're the first three matches on his DNA. And he didn't even look at his account. And I don't know when you looked at your DNA to realize that your son Joel was there. So, Vicky, when did you first realize that you were matched with Joel on 23andMe?
When you called me.
That's crazy. Did you not look at your account all that time?
No, I every now and then I'll get a notice that says, you've got 43 new relatives, so I'll take a look. But I honestly hadn't seen him literally until you had called, and I opened up my 23andMe account. And I was like, I'll be doggone.
So, okay, so the story's interesting. So he was born in 1991, and you had kids prior to that, correct?
Yes, I had two.
And you were married to there you go. And you were married to his birth father.
Yes.
So tell me the story of how this went down, basically.
His birth father, it wasn't a very nice human being, and basically told me that he didn't want any more kids at the time and really didn't give me an option. Had preset the people to go through and the whole 9 yards. So circumstances weren't very nice.
So the only thing he was told was that you had two kids prior. Is that correct?
Yes.
And raise your hand, guys. Okay, so we have Corey and pardon me?
I'm Donald.
You're Donald, and your brother behind you is who?
That's Charles.
Charles. Okay, so Donald, how much older are you than Joel?
2 years.
2 years?
Yep.
And what about you, Corey?
5 years, 6 years.
Obviously, you knew about him, right?
No.
Uh-oh. You didn't know about him? You guys didn't know about him at all?
No.
Wow, this is a big shock. So Vicky, tell us the story of that they just didn't know. How did you hide it from them?
The kids were little. Donnie was maybe 2, and then Corey was 4 or 5. So they were just too little to understand.
So to last week, they had no idea they had another brother. And
Correct.
And neither did your other kids.
Nope.
Who are in the front row, smiling. So tell me, when you heard about this, what were your thoughts? All the kids.
I honestly, when I first found out about it, I never thought that both my parents came up with it. I figured it came from my dad, honestly, because he was never really around for our childhood. He was a traveling truck driver. So I figured, he's like, whoop. And then we found out he's in Missouri. So I was like, definitely from my dad. And then this comes about. Charlie, your turn.
That's crazy. So Vicky, what made you not tell your kids at all?
Honestly, over time,
You got to move over a little bit. Thanks.
Over time, life just got busy, and it never occurred to me. I just didn't think about it.
And then when I made that phone call to you, what were your thoughts?
My first thought was making sure you weren't like scamming for money. I mean, it is that time, that day and age.
Right. That's usually the first thing I get from people, but I fixed that quickly.
Yeah, you really do.
And I must thank you, because you were so receptive and so open and really good to work with, because some people just don't accept this. They don't want to talk. They don't want to help. but you guys have been you've been wonderful. And Joel's very, very grateful. He just really wanted the answers. And unfortunately, his birth father, you told me his birth father passed away, but you had been divorced for a while.
Oh, yeah,
Almost 10 years.
10 years, something like that. 11.
And does he have any family that would be interested in meeting Joel?
To be honest,
That aren't crazy.
yeah, we just recently found out because of the 23andMe tests that he had, because he himself was adopted by his parents. And we had found out that he had a birth sister, and she's estranged and kind of unique. And we unless he absolutely really wants her blowing up his Facebook.
Mhm.
I mean, we'll introduce them, but our first, I guess, word of advice would be don't add her.
So, Donald.
Yeah.
Okay, so you spoke to Joel and you said you spoke to him almost every day, and you're the only one in the family that's spoken to him, correct?
Yes, that I know of. Yeah.
So how did that go?
It was kind of. I'm really the test dummy child, so it was one of those. Well, if you want to, you can. And I was like, of course I'm going to. I just have to, figure out for 4 hours what I was going to say, because you can't just burst through that door and be like, hey, what's up, But it's a very big learning thing between both of us trying to figure out like how to word questions so it doesn't come off being, very abrupt or rude with anybody. But I've pretty much told him point blank, if he has any questions whatsoever, call me, text me. I have no problem answering them. And if I don't know the answer, I'll ask mom. So.
And one thing you probably realize, he's a very busy guy, right?
Oh yeah. Yes.
And just another thing, working with me on this, what was your experience working with me? Because everyone has a different feeling about how I go about how I do this. What were your feelings about working with me to connect you with Joel?
Oh, no, I thought it was a great idea.
Can you move over a little?
Oh, sorry. I thought it was a great idea. I mean, I didn't realize there were agencies out there that would put in the time and the effort to track down what could come to a dead end, because I had when my ex-husband was looking for his birth parents, a lot of it, as I look back on it, was lack of will on his part, because I was the one that kept pushing. Let's go, let's look here, let's do this, and finally I was like, if you're not going to put in the effort, then I'm done. But working with you was great.
I appreciate that, because like I said, not every case works out this well, and not everyone wants to cooperate. Putting families together is not an easy thing. And in this case, the DNA was right there, the investigation and the genealogy, that wasn't hard to figure out because you're all there. We didn't have to order any other test. We didn't have to upload it to a big database. We just it fell into our lap. So anything else that you want to add to this, as far as the fact that Joel is there all of a sudden 29 years later, comes to you? How does that make you feel?
Really, you guys are shocked. Well, yeah, you guys are shocked. I don't know. I just welcome him in with open arms. And if he wants to be a part of this craziness, then, I'm all for it.
And how about you, Corey?
I second what my mom said. Definitely, open arms, and it's a big shock. And so I think we've been giving our mom a hard time about it the past week, but
Yes.
but we're also excited, and we would all love to, I think, to get to know Joel, and if at any pace that he wants to go. So
no animosity, no hard feelings. It's all good between all you guys.
Yeah.
And I have to ask those questions because honestly, I think she did what was best for everyone. Just told, unfortunately, that Joel will not be able to join us today. He's tied up with work. He apologizes. He's going to be reaching out to Donald shortly. And then Vicky, he'll be talking to you. He can't wait to talk to you. Well, you guys can set that up privately. He's just very happy that we were able to connect him to you. And I also want to thank you for just being kind and receptive, and your whole family. You have a wonderful family. Thank you for being on today and telling your story. And I hope it goes very well for you.
Well, thank you. We hope that, he doesn't think we're all too crazy and wants to stick around for a while.
That's okay. So keep us posted, and I wish you guys health and happiness, and honestly, be safe out there. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You got it.